Hey guys, it's Gareth here and welcome back to the channel. So there's this misconception out there that you need to have loads of money or have a massive salary in order to be able to buy a property. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not the case. And I'm living proof that you can go out and buy a property for little or even no money. And this can be a great option for you to help you get closer to achieving financial freedom. And I want you guys to be able to do the same. So stick with me and I'm going to talk you through exactly how I did it. Now I know that many of you guys watching this video right now are really keen on real estate and you would love to buy a home. And I'm going to share with you my personal experience of how I bought a property with little to no money. Okay, so story time. Back in 2012, I was working at one of the big accounting firms on my way to qualify to be a chartered accountant. Now, I know you may be thinking, hold on, this guy's an accountant. Don't they make a lot of money? And I can tell you that at the beginning, definitely not. You're not making a lot of money. In fact, I'm always as transparent as I can with you guys on this channel. And I can tell you that back then, when I was looking at making this first real estate investment, I was only earning around $600 to $700 a month from a full-time job, right? So not exactly making it rain. But this did not exclude me from actually being able to go out and invest in real estate. And I want to share my story with you guys to show you that it's possible for you as well to get onto the property ladder and start building your wealth. I mean, how cool is that, right? Now, the first thing I did before making this investment, about a year before, I went out and I got a credit card. And with this credit card, I just went out and bought really small items and I pay them off straight away. So I'd make small purchases and then settle the credit card immediately. And this pattern of being really good with paying down your credit cards fast is awesome for building up a good credit score. So really, when it comes to credit scores, the methodology used across almost all countries is very, very similar. So this can apply to any of you watching. So the first step is to build up a decent credit score. Check. The second step is to remind you to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Check and check. So this property that I bought was in Cape Town, South Africa. And it was the first property that I ever bought. And actually later on I found out that your chances of being able to buy a property with little to no money are actually really high when you're a first-time buyer. And this is actually not only in South Africa. I found that this is very common across the world, including in the US. So you may be wondering, well, why? Why is it easier when you're a first-time buyer? And the reason is really just risk to the bank. I mean, the bank's going to come and they're going to look at you and they see, oh, well, this guy doesn't have a bunch of mortgages already that he's trying to pay every month. This is his first home. And so they're more comfortable to lend you money. And this makes you an ideal customer for the bank. Now, I knew that I didn't want to go out and buy the most expensive property that I could, because I'm probably going to make some mistakes. This is the first investment I've ever made. And so I stuck to the sort of the lower price end to make sure that if I make some mistakes, it's okay and it's not the end of the world. Okay, so target something affordable. Check. Next up, you want to make sure you find a property that's well priced. Finding a property is really easy because there's tons and tons of properties that are hitting the market every single day, right? But you want to make sure, and this is a very important thing with real estate, is when you buy it, that you get it at a good price. As Brandon Turner at Bigger Pockets always says, every property is worth it if it's at the right price. So you want to make sure that you're getting a property below the market value of what it's actually worth. Now in future, I'll do a bunch of videos on finding a good property deal. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. But the point here is that you want to make sure that you find a property at a good price below the market value. So how do you do this? Well, the way I did it is I just started looking at a bunch of properties and I was meeting different agents. And actually, when I was looking at a property with an agent, he was saying to me that he knows of another property that he thinks I might like and it hasn't yet hit the market. So we went and we checked out that property. Now, in this case, the owner had been behind on paying his mortgage for actually quite a long time, maybe over a year, and so the banks were wanting to foreclose on that property or repossess it. Now, it's important for you guys to note that actually this could be a good opportunity for you to pick up a deal at below market value. This is often referred to as a distressed property. The owner is not paying their mortgage and they're behind, and the bank wants to try and recover the money that's outstanding to them. But instead of going through the whole legal process and having it foreclosed on or repossessed, they try and sell it before that takes place. I was keen, I liked the property. Yes, it needed some work, it needed some renovations, but it was pretty big and it was in the area that I wanted. So I made an offer at 25% below the market value. Now, initially they sort of just rejected my offer immediately, and I thought it was over. But then a few weeks later, they reached out to me and asked, "Does your offer still stand?" And I said, "Yes, it does, but I'm not going to go any higher," and they accepted it. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to be possible to get a property at so much below market value, right? At 25% market value. That's not so easy, especially right now when the property market is so hot, right? And everybody is trying to buy property. There's a lot of competition between buyers to get a good deal. So it might not always be possible, but just make sure that you try your best to negotiate the price as low as possible below the market value. So, get a property below market value? Check. So I had the combination of having a decent credit score, finding an affordable property at a good price compared to market value, and being a first-time buyer, right? This was a perfect combination to buy a property with little or no money. Okay, so this resulted in me being able to buy the property but get 100% mortgage from the bank. So it means that the bank paid the entire purchase price and I didn't even have to give 1 cent. How awesome is that, right? So the bank is basically paying for you to get that property. So all I had to do was pay the legal fees and do some basic repairs like repainting the walls and fixing up some floors, just retiling a room or two, and the property was good to go and ready to be rented out. And by the way, guys, it's actually quite common that when you buy a property that's in distress, you probably need to do some repair work, right? Because if they're not keeping up with actually paying their mortgage, then it's unlikely that they're also keeping up with maintaining the property and making sure it's in good condition. So just a heads up, keep this in mind. If you buy a property in distress, it's quite likely that you'll need to keep a bit of cash one side to be able to do some repairs, which are probably going to be needed. So the property was now in my name, I'd fixed it up, it was in good condition, and I could get a tenant to move in. And from the beginning, it was generating a positive cash flow of around $100 every single month. Now, maybe you're wondering, I don't have a great credit score, or I'm not earning a big salary to be able to apply for a mortgage or something like that. Does this mean that I can't buy a property with little to no money? Well, not necessarily. It could still be an option for you. One of the most common ways that people still buy property with little or no money is by partnering with somebody, right? You find the deal, you do the analysis, you take care of the repairs, while your partner is the one that brings the money into the deal. And so in this way, you bring in the deal and your partner is bringing the money. Now, I did a video where I sort of break down partnerships for real estate in a bit more detail, and I'll include a link down in the description. So if you're interested in this option, be sure to check that out. So guys, that is how I managed to buy a property with little or no money, and exactly how you can do it too. So let me know down in the comment section. Is this something that you've done in the past? Have you been able to go out and buy a property without having to put a lot of money into it, right, to make it happen? Or maybe you haven't done it yet, but now, sort of after this video, you feel confident that you can go out and do it. Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to know. That's it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. And if you did, make sure you give it the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. Here is my handle. And I'll see you next time.